sister's channel once again, and today is only me, and I'm gonna make this sit down talk kind of style of video. And I just wanted to share something I wrote recently. So what I did when my birthday came by December last year was December 13th. I wrote a list of 30 things I want to do before turning 30 years old. So I just turned 24, and want it or not, I'm pretty close to the half of my 20s, and 30 is coming faster than I expected. So I thought it was a good idea to make a list out of like 30 things I want to accomplish, and I just made like tiny little boxes that I can check. And I just thought about many aspects of my life, and I wanted to share some of those things because I think it might inspire you to write your own. And it's a pretty cool exercise. You realize that there are so many different things you want to do and you kind of prioritize them. One of the first things I wrote is like, I want to go to Hawaii, and I don't know why, but I've always had this fascination and really liked Hawaii a lot. I've never been there, but I just am super interested in their history, in their culture, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. So I really feel it could be a really healing experience to go there and be immersed in nature, feel the waves and see the volcanoes and all those things. I really like beach. I didn't used to like when I was young, because beaches in Brazil are always, not always, but most of the times they're crowded, there's a lot of people, a lot of noise, and I really didn't like the experience. It was too hot and messy. But nowadays I actually do like hot weather and being in the water, maybe because I found I had other experiences going close to the ocean and was quieter, and I felt relaxed and in contact with people. So when I went to the Philippines, that was one of the best experiences I had. And last year I had the opportunity to go to Yangyang here in Korea and try surfing for the first time, which was awesome and terrifying because there were jellyfishes around us. So it was pretty cool, and I kind of felt motion sickness because of the movement of the sea going up and down. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I could surf, but apparently it's much, much harder than I expected. Okay, so I also wrote that I want to improve my photography skills and give more time for the podcast that I just started. So this is pretty cool because it's on my list, and I've already gave a step towards that direction. And I wrote that I want to publish a book. If you've been following Im Sisters, you know me and my sister, we like to write a lot, and especially poetry. So I'd love to publish a poetry book one day. And if you're interested in listening to the poetry I wrote, they might not be the best, but I really enjoy it. It's from my heart, and I can do this spoken word poetry kind of thing that I'm really into. So if you're interested in seeing those things here on the channel, let us know, because I'll love to perform the poetry for you too. I'm just not sure what's your guys' interest, so if you're interested in that, write in the comments. I also wrote that I would like to find my home, and by that I mean a lot actually, because I think I took for granted home, the feeling of being home, because in the past few years I've been moving a lot and I haven't really built anything close to home. So first there's the physical sense that I would like to have this bigger space where I can really design the place to be whatever the way I want it, and find the furniture you like, paint the color you want, and actually be able to buy things for your place. Because since I moved to Korea, I've been in 3 places so far, every year in a different place, and I literally have to carry everything in my suitcase. So I have like 2 big bags, and I traveled with them, and that's my home. I have to fit everything in there, and it's a really I learned a lot from that, because I'm kind of a minimalistic experience, and you really have to choose what matters and what is important. So I think I sorted out that I don't need a lot of things in my life, and stuff really is kind of heavy for us, not in a literal sense, but it's not good to have a lot of things that are useless. So I think I know how to sort and prioritize things in my life pretty well, the things I really need. but I would like to have a place where I can actually buy beautiful things and have things that I want, and not worry all the time that I'll have to move and pack everything. So that would be one thing. And the other sense of home is having people that you love around you, because the fact that I've been moving so from Brazil to Korea, and soon, maybe this year, I'll have to move again somewhere else because my master's will finish, and I just have this feeling that it's really hard to let go of friendships, of significant others that sometimes cannot stand long distance, and just having this place where I can feel safe to come back to and call it home. So this is the kind of home I would like to build, in a place I feel comfortable with people that I love, and just feeling more sense of security and not just transience, because this gypsy lifestyle can get a bit tiring. But I'm not saying that I'm not thankful. I'm really thankful for all the moving I've done, because I grew so much, I learned a lot, and I actually like traveling, I like moving. My dream was I've always had this big dream of moving and living abroad, so being here in Korea is really a blessing and really the manifestation of what I wanted. My entire university plan was to move, and I accomplished that, so I'm really extremely grateful for this. And I also I have the life path number 5. If you don't know what that means, it means changes. So I'm pretty used to change, and I kind of want change in my life. Whenever I feel that I'm in this comfort zone for too long, I start to get jittery and I feel anxious, and I want to move, and I want to do something different, adventurous. And that's usually what I do. Or I start a new project, or I move places, or I try to find a way to travel, or because I can't stand to be quiet in one place for too long. It's just not my thing. It's not comfortable for me. Yeah, so I think I had to think a lot about what home meant. And I would like to go to one place in Japan that is called Totori, and that's the place my grandparents were born. My grandparents, yeah, from my mother's side of the family. So my grandmother and my grandfather, Oji-chan, Oba-chan, they were born there when they were very young, and it's the least populated province in Japan. So I would like to go there and see where they were born and kind of reconnect with that culture. I learned Japanese growing up a little bit, so I actually took Japanese classes and a lot of things related to Japanese culture while I was a kid. And then I tried to learn Japanese again in my 20s, 2021. But then I moved to Korea when I was 21. And while learning Korean, I kind of lost all my Japanese. Such a pity, but it's okay. I thought about not only physical accomplishments that I want to have in my before 30, but also my personal, emotional, spiritual side. So I really like to balance my feminine and masculine energies, because I felt that I was always on the go get it, and that's very masculine energy, and I wasn't really in the receptive mode and allowing myself to, be more, feel more, and just allow life to come. So I'm learning to harness this female energy in me much more, and I want to find balance in that, and I think I'm walking towards that. I feel pretty good recently. And also on the financial level, I want to learn how to invest my money and how to have sources of passive income and have more stability. So I know I'm kind of young, but I really want to find those things in life, because in my mind, when I was a teenager or when I was like a kid, I always thought that, okay, when I'm 25, I'm gonna have my job, I'm gonna have money, I'm gonna have my house, I'm gonna have this and that, a proper life, so to speak. And I'm 24 and I'm not there. No. Still have a long path to walk, but it's okay. I came to terms with that, and everyone has his own time and his own pace. And I also had to come with in peace with the fact that the things that I've studied and I dedicated a lot of time and life energy, such as international relations, and even now with my master's in anthropology, I don't think my goal professionally is to work with those things. Of course, they brought me a lot of knowledge and a lot of things that I will use whenever I feel that I need to, and whatever the situation I find myself in, because knowledge is always valuable. But I don't think I'm gonna follow the traditional path for those careers, and I had to be okay with that with myself, because I was like, oh, so that was useless. And you didn't lose, but I spent so much time and so much energy studying. I studied so hard to keep my grades really high to get the scholarship that I have now, and even now to keep the scholarship and all those things. Now I'm okay that it doesn't really matter if I don't choose to follow those international relations or anthropology path. I think it's okay, and hopefully AM Sisters will grow enough for me to keep it as part of my professional life. Oh yeah, so things that I wrote here are also related to AM Sisters, because I want to be able to grow this platform to the point that I can invite people to participate in it with us. So artists and creators and people who have, things to share, their stories and their life path that can inspire other people. So I want this to grow and give space for other people to participate, because our goal is always to be a community, not just us talking about our own lives, but giving space for other people to share their ideas and their stories. Because I think humanity is like that, right? We get inspired by people and we learn so much from each other. And sometimes when you're not feeling good with your own life or things that are happening to you, and you see the story of someone who could overcome whatever was happening to them, that gives courage, and that gives the spark of courage and life and all the good things that you need to be brave and give the step you need, or to forgive yourself, or to do whatever you need to do. I also wrote here that I want to increase my self-confidence and one day be able to comfortably give public speeches, because I think it's not easy to put yourself out there. And want it or not, when I moved to Korea, my self-confidence, I had ups and downs according to what was happening in my personal life, because learning a new language and having to leave, depending on that to survive basically, and you're not fluent in that, can really put your self-confidence really down, because there are certain situations you feel kind of really dumb and you're not. And if you could speak English, or if you could speak your mother tongue, you would be nailing the situation. But because you have to speak in Korean, in my case, I felt really, people really judging me, and that really put my self-esteem and my self-worth really down. But I recovered it, slowly recovered it. So one of my goals is also to improve self-confidence, and don't let any situation or any people to make me feel less than I am. And that's for you too. Don't let other people tell you what you can or cannot do, because whenever they tell you cannot do something, that's because they put this limit in their own lives. If they tell you you cannot write that book, it's because they believe they cannot write themselves. If they say you cannot, reach whatever your goal is because they don't believe they can reach those things. Because only people who have limits for their own self-worth, for their own capabilities, is gonna impose those things on you. So keep that in mind. Don't let people tell you what you can or cannot do, or what you can or cannot reach. And your timeline is your timeline. If you think you can do it, you can. Pretty sure. I just wanted to share with you this list, and I recommend doing it. So it doesn't really need to be your birthday, and it doesn't matter if you're not 30 or if you're in your 20s, or if you're whatever. If you're a teenager and you're going through your 20s, right? 20 things I want to accomplish in my 20s, or 30 things I want to accomplish in my 30s. It doesn't matter. About age is a number, and life experiences you can get from different things. And I think those crazy timelines we have in our heads, they are really imposed on us by society or family or culture. So break free from those things and allow yourself to follow your own timeline. I have so many friends that worry about, for example, aging to get married because here in Korea, people usually tend to get married into their 30s. And I know some friends of mine, they are from Southeast Asian countries, and the age is even lower, like 25, and a lot of my friends, they feel the pressure to find the right one or whatever. And I just say, like, this is your life and you're gonna find the people you need to find when time comes. So follow your own timeline and life will get better if you do that, because if you're walking with the beat of your own drum, you're making a pretty goddamn beautiful music. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your plans are. If you write down, let me know at least one thing in your list. I would love to share with you a little bit more about mine. You can share with me your things, and if you have any ideas for videos you want to see in this channel, please comment down below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you feel like doing it. And see you next time. Thank you so much. Take care and bye bye.